Week 5. Last week, I implemented Supabase authentication service, specifically the one-time password authentication service. It is a case where a user submits to me their email address, and then I send that email address to Supabase. Supabase then sends the user an email that contains a 6-digit one-time password, which the user will then input into the app. The app then sends those numbers, this 6-digit number, back to Supabase, and then Supabase can then verify whether or not those two things, the email and the one-time password, match. And if they do, the user is logged in. So that's implemented, and it's working. Last week, I ran into a number of issues that caused a lot of delays. Specifically, coin dependency injection caused a lot of headache for me. This is my first time using Coin. Before that, it was Dagger Hilt that was very popular, or still is very popular on the Android platform. But for Kotlin multi-platform, you sort of, the most supported and the best documented out there is Coin for the vast majority of the projects. Ran into a number of issues with syntax as well as boilerplate formality. I missed some steps because I skipped some steps on the tutorial, on the introduction. That was my fault. But they're all fixed, and the thing is working now. Also ran into a very interesting dependency issue. There's one dependency that's just apparently not compatible with Kotlin multi-platform, but somehow IDE didn't think that was an issue until compile time. And that took a while to figure out because a dependency is not as straightforward to understand as some of the things that the errors that are caused directly by your code. But that's also fixed. Thankfully, there was a Stack Overflow discussion about it. Otherwise, I would have no idea. Next week, the goal is to improve the login screen. So at this moment, there's only 2 naked text fields and 2 buttons. So there is really no decoration. There's no, and I hard-coded all the string resources. I'm not using the resources file. I don't have any text validation. I don't have any error states that would, display the text fields in red if somebody puts in a phone number as opposed to an email address, stuff like that. So all of these need to be rectified next week. Well, that's the goal for next week. And I have a list of things I want to do to improve the page, and they're all listed on the website for week 5's update. And what did I learn last week? Most of the things I learned last week was sort of technical stuff, which would be very difficult to discuss and elaborate on a video. I've documented my exploration of Coin dependency injection on the website, so if you're interested, you can take a look. Specifically, and I think the one thing that I couldn't find online at the moment is sort of code samples for Supabase auth used in conjunction with Coin dependency injection, because you can see a lot of tutorials for Coin itself and a lot of tutorials for Supabase, even for the Kotlin multi-platform implementation, but I've never seen both put together, and I'm using both put together. So there's some exploration given my unfamiliarity with both of them. But they're working now, so at least I've done something right. And if you're curious, take a look at the website. And this is it for this week. I will see you next week.